was the longest of long shots. A low-budget boxing movie with a no-name star.
You're less than nothing.
Nobody knew who Sylvester Stallone was.
You're completely nobody.
From a script written in a spiral notebook.
I couldn't believe it. Really quite stunning and tender and remarkable.
And against all odds, it became a hit.
I think anybody who read that script said it's a boxing movie, you can't make money.
Winning Oscars and spawning a 6-part film franchise.
I don't think anybody expected it to be what it turned out to be, which is a film for the ages.
Amazing. That's a victory for every little guy out there. That's all they want to do is go the distance.
Not just a hero, but an icon. Rocky was a symbol of heart and hope. A no-luck palooka who inspired millions around the globe.
I was outside of Rome, and this one kid, he goes, "Mountain of muscles! Mountain of muscles!"
It's this symbolism of never give up and that your dreams can come true.
But behind the scenes, the making of Rocky and the entire series was a saga as unpredictable and tumultuous as the films themselves. Its hero and its creator, one and the same. One, an actor and writer. The other, his fictional alter ego. Both would take a beating along the way.
There was a tour de force of hospital visits. I mean, Jesus, they was named the Wing after me.
There doesn't seem to be any line between Stallone as an actor and Rocky the character.
As much as I like to say, oh, Rocky the character, it's me.
As Rocky became a series, both the star and the boxer would take on tough odds and tougher foes. From the sequel...
It's Apollo. Who'd you expect? I was hoping it wouldn't show. Ha!
To the opponents of Rocky 3, 4, and 5.
I am ranked number one. I'll fight him anywhere, anytime, for nothing. Get your hands up, man. You need an interpreter? It's time to go to school.
You're gonna lose.
I'm not gonna knock you out this time. I'm gonna put you through the street.
And finally, 3 decades after the original, Rocky Balboa. Over 30 years, Rocky and Stallone would rise and fall and rise again.
Stallone's life story parallels Rocky. This is really him.
He's had lots of ups and downs, but you can never count him out.
Pulling in over $1 billion, it became one of the most successful franchises in movie history. But Rocky was never a sure thing. And even after a string of successful sequels, the last film was almost as much of a struggle to launch as the first.
A lot of work went into it. I mean, there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. It was not a cozy, comfy set. It was like doing the first one.
Everything was going against it.
This is a story of triumph and defeat, of taking hits and being knocked down, but getting back up and fighting on. This is the story of the Rocky saga. The year was 1976. The Ramones were playing their first gig. 2 friends formed a tiny computer company they called Apple. And a washed-up boxer was about to get his own million-to-one shot.
This is the land of opportunity, right? So Apollo Creed on January 1st gives a local underdog fighter an opportunity.
Everyone in the world sort of feels that they would at least have one up at bat to see if they can hit the ball or not in their life.
When Rocky came out in 1976, it was a sensation. It didn't just bring in the audiences, it hit them like an uppercut. Millions turned out to celebrate the gritty tale of an underdog's last stand.
It was a time when the peanut farmer from Atlanta was going to be president of the United States, that the little man, the pure man, had a right to be heard. We were really celebrating America. We all felt the freshness of the future. I really think it was a kind of folktale, and Sylvester really was a folk hero.
The Rocky story is a fairy tale.
It's a great story, as good as boxing.
In a strange sort of way, the Rocky saga is just a story about America with the backdrop of boxing.
Over 30 years, 3 Oscars, 6 films, and $1 billion in box office, Rocky would connect with its audience again and again. But for the star, the films themselves would be a fight each step of the way, skirmishes that mirrored the life of its hero. a 2-bit brawler named Rocky Balboa.
You're a bum! Know that? You're a bum!
Rocky is such a well-meaning and good character. Like, there's no point where you think this guy's terrible or he clearly has deeper, darker issues.
Rocky falls for shy, introverted Adrian.
She reminded me of Laura in The Glass Menagerie. Tennessee Williams, this kind of woman of enormous shyness.
Together, Rocky and Adrian make the movie much more than a fight film. It's the tale of two misfits who find strength in each other.
It is very much a love story. Very, very much a love story, but it's a partnership.
Adrian is the sister of Rocky's best and perhaps only friend, surly alcoholic Paulie. Just one of the sharply drawn supporting characters.
He is sort of, in a way, the negative reflection of what Rocky could be. You are able to see how a person from this neighborhood who does not find the same success that Rocky does could be very embittered and very unhappy.
Times are running away from him. The life is running away from him. And he strikes out at anything he can.
Working as hired muscle for a loan shark, Rocky's been written off by everyone, including veteran trainer Mickey Goldmill.
You know, I've been coming in for 6 years. The 6 years you've been sticking it to me. I want to know how come. You want to know? I want to know!
He's a character who looks like he could take out Rocky if he needed to because he's so angry all the time.
Because you had the talent to become a good fighter. And instead of that, you became a leg breaker. Some cheap second-rate loan shark.
It's a living?
It's a waste of life.
You got a used-up, washed-up trainer, manager like Mickey. You got a used-up, beat-up fighter like Rocky to come together.
But this hero gets only one chance to prove himself. A rare opportunity to turn his life around when he's chosen to fight heavyweight champ Apollo Creed.
He picked you, Rocky. It's the chance of a lifetime. You can't pass it by.
Well, Apollo Creed seemed to me to be a compilation of Ali and all the great heavyweights at that time. This character was a showman, was a salesman, was pretty bombastic, very smart, articulate, but at the same time knew how to play the game.
Against a champion of Apollo Creed's caliber, Rocky knows he has no chance.
All I want to do is go the distance.
This is within my grasp. I can go the distance with the champ. I can't beat him. I can go the distance with life.
With the support of Adrian and Mickey, Rocky puts his heart and soul into that one fight.
It's the underdog believing in what he's doing.
Because he has heart.
It is that guy that is so resilient, that's able to take the punches and take the hits, but you never stop.
He has more heart and more determination than the other guy.
He didn't have education, but he had dignity.
The Rocky philosophy is that people want to be the champion in their own life.
The audience identifies with Rocky. The other guy is bigger, faster, punches more powerfully, and so he's the underdog.
If Rocky's tale is a long shot, even more implausible is that the film itself even got made. A handwritten script from a little-known actor would launch not just a movie, but an entire franchise. There's no question, Sylvester Stallone knew underdogs.
I wasn't very good in school, and I dropped out of school. I worked in the dock area. I drove forklifts, and I understood the mentality of the real-life Rocky.
The product of a broken home in Hell's Kitchen, kicked out of a series of schools as a youngster, the wannabe actor left New York to try to make it in Hollywood, but it wouldn't be easy.
He was born with kind of a droopy draw and not a perfect way of speaking.
He scored a few small roles, from Death Race 2000 to Lords of Flatbush. But things were looking bleak. With his wife pregnant, his car broken down, and just $106 in the bank.
I had to sell my dog. I didn't even have money to feed the damn dog.
This is a guy who had nothing. I mean, he didn't have 2 nickels to rub together.
He also had painted his apartment black. That's how he was living. That was his state of mind at that point in time.
At that time, I was looking for some sort of break in the business, and nothing was happening. I was being characterized as dark types, the mugger, the thug. And I thought, well, why don't I take that image and try to write something about the soul of a person underneath the rough exterior.
Stallone had just seen a fight between Muhammad Ali and a local brawler nicknamed the Bayonne Bleeder, a 30-to-1 underdog.
And what I saw was pretty extraordinary. I saw a man they called the Bayonne Bleeder who didn't have a chance at all against, the greatest fighting machine, supposedly, that ever lived.
Body back, slips a punch to his left. Oh!
And for one brief moment, this supposed stumblebum turned out to be magnificent in the fact that he lasted and knocked the champion down. I was a big fan of Rocky Marciano. Then I saw a few fights on TV, which triggered the idea, wow, why don't I play this down and out so-called bum fighter with a name like Rocky and see if that could be a perfect translator for somebody who's never really gotten a break. So out of total abject failure and everything I did in my life, I thought, if I could put this on the page, maybe other people identify with it.
Stallone would scratch out a screenplay by hand in just 3.5 days. But in taking the idea from page to screen, the unknown actor would find out there are no guarantees in Hollywood.
Then they put in all these clauses. Okay, we'll give you a chance. The movie's going to cost under $1 million. You got 25 days to film it. And if you do anything wrong, if you breathe wrong, if you smoke with the wrong hand, if you do anything, if you drop your fork when you're eating, any excuse, we're getting rid of you.